Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to be creating some spooky or not so spooky Halloween cards. I'm going to start out with our first card, and we're creating a foiled card with our foilables. This one is called Spooky Silhouettes, and it has 4 different little scary characters there in these ornate frames. I've cut this one out with our notched corner dies so that it has a nice little finished look. It's got the stitching on the edges. So we're going to foil this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Pink and Maine mini ink machine. I'm going to set it to number 3, and it'll just take under 3 minutes to heat up. And the foils I've chosen for this one, I've got Fairy Wings Peach, which kind of is holographic, so it shines all these golden peachy tones, little orange and yellow to it. I thought it would look good on this spooky guy right here. Now before we do any foiling, we want to make sure there's no dust or debris on our foilable nor the back of the foil. We don't want anything in between the toner printed design, which is the foilable, and the foil to keep it from adhering. So I've cut out a piece of my Fairy Wings Peach that's going to go on top of my design there, and we're going to put it in the carrier sheet that comes with our ink machine. You want to make sure that all of your toner printed design is covered by the foil, or the toner will actually melt and stick to your carrier sheet. Our machine is ready, so we're just going to run that through. I'm going to remove both the foil and the foilable from the carrier sheet, but we're going to wait for this to cool before we do the fun peel and reveal. You want it to be cool to the touch. Oh, wow. And check him out. He certainly is cool. So I also wanted a foiled background for him to sit on. And we've got a black A2 top folding card base for our card. So I've got this Pebbles Bronze foil. I thought it complemented the Fairy Wings Peach quite nicely. It's got a little more browns and bronze, but there's a pattern to it, and it's a little holographic, so it does shine all those other colors as well. So to create a background with foil, I'm going to create my own foiled paper. So again, I'm taking my soft brush and we're brushing the back of the foil as well as the toner sheet itself. This is one of our solid black foilable panels. It's completely printed with black toner. So the foil is going to stick to the entire sheet, which is going to give me a nice background and my own foiled piece of paper. Always remember to hold on to your negative or waste foil, as some people call it. That pattern that is removed from the foil can be transferred onto a solid toner sheet, and it will show the pattern through. So that's a really cool technique, and I'll show that to you in just a few moments. From our Halloween sentiment foilables, I cut out Happy Haunting, and I'm going to use a bit of this Fairy Wings Peach to foil it. So I'll just set it in the carrier folder, put the foil on top of it. Wow, that runs through. Let's peel and reveal. Oh my. Look how gorgeous. It used up the entire sheet of foil, but I hope you can see on the camera. Probably reflects everything in the room. But look at all those cool colors and patterns in that. Now our sentiment is cooled off. We can peel. And we have a foiled background with our happy haunting in white. And now it's time to assemble our card. I'm going to start by adding our gorgeous foiled paper to the card front. Okay, we're almost ready to adhere our guy here, but I notice I have 2 little black flecks, and sometimes that happens. Even wiping it off, there must have been some kind of dust or something that kept the foil from adhering to those spots. So I'm going to show you a quick little trick that you can fix little spots like that. So you can use a variety of products. If you have a Zig 2-way glue pen with the blue glue, there's also a Quickie glue pen. And we also sell glaze gel pens, and those will all accept foil. So all I've done is I've dabbed a tiny bit of glue onto those little black flecks. And like I said, all those is where something came in between the foil and the toner printed design as it ran through the machine. So that's why it's so important to clean or wipe off your foilables and your foil. And sometimes there's just going to be something that gets missed, but there's easy fixes for that. Now we just have to wait a few moments for that glue pen to dry. So those glue pens, they dry clear, but they go on blue. So you know when it's clear that it's dry. I'll put the foil back on there, and I just need to make sure the foil covers those 2 spots that I'm correcting. And I thought I would show you that too, just to show that it happens to everyone from time to time. I'll let this cool off just a second. And then when we peel that, the foil has adhered to those little spots. You can see where it's removed the foil. So we have a fully foiled piece now. So there's always a little fix in case you get a little error. Now, I foiled this full panel here, and I have no black specks whatsoever. Sometimes dusting it off works perfectly, and there's time or two that there's just something that gets in between the foil and the foilable, and it's just going to leave those little specks. More often than not, when you dust it off, it does work perfectly. All right, this is our giant roll of foam tape, and I'm going to tape that panel down with some of our foam tape to give it a little dimension off of the background. I love our foam tape because it's 1/16 of an inch thick. It's not too thick that you're going to have a hard time mailing your cards. I cut it easily with regular scissors, and the release paper comes off easily as well. You can always double it up if you need a little more height. It's 3/8 of an inch wide. You can use it on anything that's 1/2 an inch or wider. You can always cut it down the middle to get thinner strips too. I'm loving this card so far. It's not your typical like orange or purple or black Halloween card. I've included these browns and kind of bronzy orange tones. Just, it almost gives it that antique look, which I thought was kind of creepy and spooky. Now I'm just going to glue our sentiment right down here at the bottom below our silhouette. And there is our first spooky Halloween card. We're gonna foil on all our cards today, so we're gonna have some foiling fun. But this card, I'm gonna show you how to add your cute stamped images along with the foiled backgrounds. So I've got a piece of our glitzy silver, one of my favorite silvers. It's very shiny, holographic, and it almost looks like tiny little glitter flecks in the foil. It gives just enough pattern with those little flecks without being an overwhelming pattern in the foil. And we're gonna make these adorable little ghosts. These are from our Halloween backgrounds foilable kit. It has 8 different backgrounds, and we're going to dust these ghosts off. And the brush I'm using is our cleanup brush. So it's a super soft mop brush that'll work perfectly for this. I just suggest you have one dedicated for your foiling. You don't want to be cleaning up embossing powder and glitter with the cleanup brush and then also using it for your foil, because you don't want to transfer any of those small particles onto your foiling materials. So I add my foil to the foilable with the pretty side up, always pretty side up for this foiling. And we'll run it through the ink machine. All right, we're letting this cool down before we peel and reveal. Let's do it. Oh, I love them. Oh my goodness. Remember, always keep your negative pieces. You could create other backgrounds with them. Like I said, I'll show you that in just a few moments. Now we've got super sparkly, glitzy silver ghosts as a background. So I've also cut with our stitched rectangle dies set 1. The largest die in that set is the size of an A2 card. So I've cut that in our construction cardstock, which is orange. And we're gonna add our ghost panel on top of that, which I have cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm putting it on an orange background because our little stamped images have some orange in them, and I thought that would bring it all together. So let's glue these down to the card base. You want to be careful when using liquid glue and your foilables. You don't want to get glue on your fingers and then touch the foiled areas, because the glue will smudge and it'll take away your pretty shine. Next, it's time to add our cute little stamped ghosts. Now these are from our cute ghost set, and one's got a little candy bucket that's overflowing with candy. The other one is holding a jack-o'-lantern balloon, and I've die cut the sentiment "You are spooktacular" from the stamp set. I've cut from our zigzag circle dies a gray circle. It's got that nice stitched edging. It's going to be a nice highlight spot for our ghost to sit on. This is our cobblestone cardstock, just a nice dark gray. I like to have things go off the side of the card, so I'm just going to cut a little side of this circle right off like that. You can do it with your paper trimmer if you're more comfortable. So I think I'm going to put this on the left side of the card. Now I want to add the little ghosts with some foam tape just to pop them up for some dimension. Now that I have my foam tape, we can add the ghosts to the card. I'm going to use the other one just as a guide to where I want to place the first one. I think about there it looks good. And lastly, I will glue down our sentiment. It says, "You are spooktacular." And there's our next card. Not too spooky, right? But super cute. Perfect for Halloween. We're going to create 2 cards this next time because we're going to do some foiling with our negative pieces. So I've got everything for both the cards here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to foil this spooky silhouette. Look at her with the spiders and the spider webs. I've cut this out with one of our layered oval dies. Just going to clean her up a bit. And I'm using our oil slick foil. So it's silver with, looks just like an oil slick. It's got purples and teals and greens and blues, a little yellow in there. Just thought it gave a fun look for this silhouette. So I'm going to place the silhouette in the transfer folder and put the foil over the top of it. This one I want to make sure there's enough room for me to foil the negative and put it on another oval. So I'm just making sure it's kind of centered on there. You'll see in a moment. We'll run that through the ink machine. I can't wait to peel this away and see what is underneath. Oh yes, she's gorgeous. Okay, so now we're going to foil our negative image that's in our foil piece here. And the way we do that is we use a full toner printed sheet of paper. So instead of always just having a black background, you can now have colors. And this is from our ombre set 1. It's a set of rainbow colors that kind of have an ombre look. They go from darker to lighter on the sheet. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna
and then we'll run it through
our foiled image over this oval.
And I'm gonna try to center it the best I can.
I don't know about you, but I love Halloween. I always have. Decorating for Halloween, dressing up as a kid, and going trick-or-treating. I grew up watching horror movies with my mom. My mom always loved horror movies, so I still to this day love scary movies. So this is so much fun for me. So now let's peel and reveal what we have here. See how we've used that whole design that was in there? It's now on our oval that was cut from that toner sheet. So now our spooky silhouette is in purple with a foiled background, and that looks so cool. I've got a couple little sentiments that I want to foil here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that.
So now we have our foiled backgrounds with our little sentiments. And I goofed one up. They overlapped in my carrier sheet. You can see here they slid together and overlapped. So I've got a corner that didn't foil. I'm going to try to fix that again with the glue pen. Never stress over your little boo-boos. We all make them. They happen. There's usually always a way to correct it. Crafting is just fun. It shouldn't be stressful. I'm going to let that dry a few moments, but we can start to build our first card. So for our first card, I'm going to use that negative piece that we foiled. I had cut the oval from the ombre foilable here. And I also cut the oval out of the front of the black card base because I thought it would be neat to glue her inside the card, and she's kind of framed there. So we'll glue her down first. That looks so cool. I can't stop looking at it in the light. And then I'm going to use the purple toner piece that I cut the oval out of, and I'm just going to glue that on the front of the card. And that just adds that extra purple to draw from the image that's in our foil there. Here's the card so far. That image is so cool in there. So I've got my little sentiment that I goofed on, and I'm going to run it through the ink machine now that that glue has dried. And we're going to try to foil over where my sentiments crisscrossed in the first foiling. All right, I'll let it cool off a second. Then we'll peel it. Oh, yes. So now I have my Happy Halloween that I will glue down. I think I'm going to put it on the inside of the card. I really like that clean look of just the silhouette on the outside. Yes, so I add my little Happy Halloween on the inside here because I really like the look of just that clean and simple card on the front with the purple frame and then the foil and that spooky silhouette there in the center. It would also be cool to add maybe some of our gems or pearls to this one around. That would be neat too. I didn't grab any before I started creating here, but that is our next card. And now we'll put together our second card using our foiled spooky silhouette. I just have a cobblestone gray card base. I've cut some of our asphalt black cardstock for a layering oval and also a little strip down here just so that the oval is not floating on the card with nothing around it. These are super simple cards to put together, but with that foiled accent, and when you layer it up with different colors of cardstock and such, you just get a nice finished looking card. So I'll glue down our spooky silhouette to the black oval, and then I'll glue them both onto the card front. With our foilables, they are thinner than cardstock, so you need very little glue or adhesive to adhere them. And then for this card, I foiled after I cut out, "Hey, Ghoul Friend." Isn't that neat? And I cut a little pennant flag end on that just to add a little something to it. So I think we'll add this up here at the top.
And here is our next card. I really love that. The only thing I would change about this one is I think I would leave the Hey Girlfriend with just the black background. I think it would have balanced more nicely with the black strip down here and been a little bit easier to see as it's layered over my foiled piece there. But I'm loving these spooky silhouettes on these cards.
All right, ready for our next card. And this time we're going to be working with little skulls. So fun. So this cute little skull pattern, if you could say they're cute, is from our Halloween Backgrounds foilable kit again. And this time we're going to foil it with our Midnight Black foil. And you may say, why would you want to put black foil on a black toner printed design? It's just going to be black. Well, it does give a nice shine to it. It gives a nice foiled shine if you like that look of the black on white. But there's some other fun techniques we can do that we're going to do with this card here. The black foil is also really fun on a stenciled background. If you use our glossy gel on a stencil and then you put the black foil over it after it's dried, you could put that black foil on anything. So I've got the black foil on our skull foilable and I'm going to feed it through the ink machine. While that piece cools down, I've also cut with a stitch circle this little skull guy. He is from the Halloween Icons foilable kit. So we're going to just foil him with some of our amethyst foil, which is a beautiful purple. Okay, our skull piece here is cool. So we're going to peel that. Oh, look. Perfectly foiled purple skull. So fun. I should have run the sentiment through at the same time. I've cut out the sentiment Ghostly Greetings, and I'm going to foil that with the amethyst foil as well. And remember, you could cut out a circle from a full toner printed sheet, either a color or black, and you can foil this skull pattern right onto that and use it on another card. So I've got my Ghostly Greetings sentiment with that amethyst foil. Now it's time to peel and reveal our little skull background. So fun. It may be hard to tell on the camera, but this does have a lot of extra shine to those black skulls since it has the black foil on it instead of just being the toner. Now you can also ink blend on this panel, so you could get a colored background with the black skulls. Now I'm going to use this for another card later, but I'm not going to use it right now. We're going to use another technique, another piece of paper to make our card. But I've got this fun background to use when I want to. We're going to foil these skulls, the negative pattern, onto this beautiful, this is from our Bright Ombre foilable sheets. And it looks like a beautiful sunrise or sunset. We've got purple into yellow, into orange, into a deep orange. And I thought they were great Halloween colors too. So I want to make sure there's nothing on this sheet to interfere
with the foiling. Let's foil this skull pattern on here. Put our sheet on here. And I find sometimes it's easier to line it up from the back. It's less distracting, and I can see the edges of that pattern in the back of the foil a little easier. So I can get my panel lined up just as I want it. All right, now that it's lined up, I'm going to run it through the ink machine. I'm going to let this cool a moment. I'm going to turn my Mink machine off and move it out of the way a little bit. We're done with our foiling. Now check this out. Even before I peel to reveal, look at this cool piece of paper that we've created. Let's peel it. Oh my goodness. So now we have that super fun skull pattern on our bright ombre foilable sheet. It looks like a beautiful ink blended background, but you've got that foil covering it, so you've got that really pretty shine on top. This is so cool. People will not believe that you created that yourself. So let's glue this down to our card base. This is going to be our background. Okay, to finish our card, remember we have our little skull guy. Now I have cut out from our layered scallops circle die 2 pieces. One is orange glitter paper from one of our glitter paper packs, and the other one is night sky purple cardstock. So what you do is you cut 2 colors of the same die and you just rotate it so you get alternating colored scallops. It gives just that extra color in the background, and it's really fun. So I'm going to glue these together. And this stitch circle die that I've used for the skeleton, it's part of the die set from the layered scallop circle die. So you get the inner circle to cut out as well. See how cool that looks with those alternating colored scallops around? And you pop a little glitter paper with regular cardstock and you just get that extra little sparkle and shine. So I'm going to glue our skull onto this scallop piece. The die set also has 2 sizes of the layered scallops circles. So this is the smaller of the 2 and the other one is a little bigger. But this one fit this little skull perfectly. I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of my scallop circle piece, just to pop it up for a little dimension on the card. I also cut a piece of purple glitter paper that I was going to put right down the center, just to kind of anchor my scallop piece to the card and pull everything together. So I'm going to glue that down first. Now I'm going to add our little scallop piece with the skull on it. Put him there. And then we'll glue our sentiment down. And here is our last card. Oh my goodness, you have got to try this technique with the black foil and some of our colored toner sheets. It looks so good. And I love this bright ombre background. Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these spooky and not so spooky Halloween cards that we've created. You can find all these products and more at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. Until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.